Hello everyone, Katie here from Simply Earth, and I am excited to be here with you. If you are hopping on, say hi and let me know where you are watching from. We are located in Wisconsin, and it's a beautiful day here. Hope it's a beautiful day for you too. We've got Doris here from Florida. Hello, Doris. Marion in Alabama. Brenda in Arizona. Good afternoon. Hello, Doreen in Louisiana. Helen in Pennsylvania. The Village of Paradise. Love that. Hi, Kendra in Virginia. And Lori, a local Wisconsinite. And another Midwesterner. We've got Donna in Illinois. Awesome. In Montana. Another Wisconsinite. Woo! So glad you guys are here. So this is the DIY beauty workshop. We're going to talk about making your own natural makeup. And a fun thing we are doing with this live is during the live, I'm going to be giving away our DIY makeup kit, which is new to Simply Earth. So stay tuned. I will tell you how we're going to do that later in this video. So really excited about that. Oh, Michigan, nice. Nebraska is here, and Oregon, Arkansas. So glad you guys could be here. So if you've ever wanted to make makeup that feels good on your skin and your conscience, you're in the right place. And this is something that is near and dear to my heart because I have very sensitive skin. So a lot of store-bought products just don't, they make my skin feel like it's on fire. And so it's been really great to start making my own products that I feel good about without spending a ton of money and also feel good on my face. Oh, we've got Alaska, Southern Alabama. Oh, this is so great. So glad you guys are all here. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, why natural makeup, which I just touched on slightly, is because you can feel good about what you're using. You're in control of the ingredients. A really fun thing about making your own makeup is you get to create your own custom colors that you love and feel really good about and it's like your own shade. You can call it your own name if you want. This is the Katie shade of blush or whatever, or Melissa's mauve. I don't know. But you could customize it to really work with your specific beauty and really let it shine. You also save money because makeup is so expensive. And so once you get the ingredients, once you have them, it's very cheap to make your own makeup because you use very small amounts of the ingredients that we'll be talking about here. And yeah, so tell me in the comments why you are interested in making your own makeup. So what brings you to this video today? While some of those comments come up, I'll talk a little bit about me and Simply Earth. So if we have not met yet, my name is Katie. There I am. I'm a certified aromatherapist and I'm a co-founder of Simply Earth, and we love teaching people how to make natural products with natural ingredients with confidence. So not only do we care about the ingredients you're getting, but we care that you know how to use them, and we care that you are paying an honest price for them. One of the reasons we got into essential oils is we made a stinky foot spray because I had stinky feet. And one of the main ingredients in those was essential oils. And we saw the crazy prices that they were being sold at. And so we started selling them and teaching people how to use them and selling them at honest prices. And that's led us to a whole DIY world that we really love and is super fun. And each month we talk about new DIY products. And this month and in this workshop, we are talking about DIY makeup. All right, so let me see some of your comments about how you're interested in making makeup. Doris is excited to make gifts for her family. That's awesome. Donna also has sensitive skin and she doesn't want any more toxic chemicals. High five, Donna. Lori's thinking some gifts and she wants to see if it's easy. It is. I'm excited for this. Judy says hopefully fun and unusual. Yes. Holly loves custom colors that you get to pick. And Kendra has said she's been wearing makeup for 30 years and has tried so many different kinds and hasn't found one you really like. I hope today is the day, Kendra. Fun, natural, safer, cheaper. Want to bring your daughters up on it? Yes, that's one thing. My kids are a little young for makeup, but I have 3 daughters and 1 son, and I like that I'm going to be able to introduce them to products that aren't going to make them break out, that are going to be good for their skin. And yeah, so this is going to be, I relate to that, and I'm happy I get to be a part of my girls' journey with that too. Plus, it's so fun. My girls love to create, and maybe your girls are the same way. So making this with them, we've made it tinted lip balm together. I haven't made makeup with them yet, but I'm excited too. Holly is asking how many products will the big bag of mineral makeup powder make? It depends on the batch size that you're making, but I will say a lot. Like, you could probably make at least 50 little tins like this of makeup. Probably more, but depends on your batch size. Good question. All right, so I will talk more about that ingredient and more. And it's so great to hear why you guys are interested in making your own makeup. Oh, and speaking of which, have you ever looked up an ingredient in your makeup before? Sometimes it's surprising that like you'll think something is natural and then, oh, it's not. One common ingredient in makeup is talc, T-A-L-C. And if you ever look that one up, it's really not good for you, but it's in tons of products. So this is talc-free. That's exciting. So if you've ever had that experience of looking up an ingredient, you can share that too. Hi, Trina. So glad you're here. All right. So let's talk about ingredients and tools that you'll love for making your own makeup. So the first one is our DIY mineral makeup base. And right above me, straight above me, that white bag, that's the one that Holly was just asking about. You can make a lot of natural makeup with that. And when I first got started in the natural makeup game, my first attempts were cornstarch plus I think I used cinnamon in one, and people are like, cinnamon? But yeah, it works, and it didn't irritate my skin, actually. And other seasonings that can create natural colors, like cocoa powder and things like that. But that doesn't stay on your skin very well. And so then when I really dove into making makeup, it was like, oh, I need so many ingredients to make the one thing I want. So I made it easy with that base powder. That was so fun to be able to customize that and work with that and create our own custom products. So that base is made out of natural ingredients, and it's what's going to make your makeup stay on your face. It's going to help it feel nice on your skin. It's going to help you make buildable coverage, and you'll also be able to customize your recipes a lot with that. So the more you add, the more opaque your makeup will be. The less you add to it, the more I don't know, I want to say natural, but that's not the word I'm looking for, but less opaque. Like you'll see more of your skin through it. And yeah, so that, if you want to make natural makeup, that ingredient changed the game for me, and I think it'll change the game for you too. Next up are mica powders. Mica powders are shimmery natural powders. And here we go. We'll talk about pigment powders too, which is the next one on that list here. I think I'll talk about them both at the same time. So we've got mica powders and pigment powders. Both of these you can use to color your makeup with, but it's important to know the difference between the two. Mica powder creates less coverage and it also shimmers. It won't shimmer if you put it into like a balm like this, but if you leave it as a pressed powder and make an eyeshadow out of it, you will still get that shimmered effect. Pigment powder is matte. It will not shimmer and it creates bold, deep coverage. So if you're wanting to make makeup that's like you can really see it on your skin, you'll want to use a pigment powder in your recipe formulation that you're using. Let me know if you have any questions about these two. So these are what we're going to use to color our makeup powder. I've got some recipes linked below in a free guide, and those recipes can be customized. You can change up the amounts of pigment powders and mica powders along with what color you use to make the makeup really your own. Next up, there's some ingredients that are going to bind your makeup together. So you can use a carrier oil like almond oil and jojoba oil. Trying to find my example. Hold on. Ooh. You can use a binding ingredient like almond oil and jojoba oil. If you use just a tiny amount, you can create a pressed powder. This is a pressed powder. It's probably kind of hard to tell. And there you just you create your beautiful color, which we'll do here in a little bit. Then you add just a tiny bit of almond oil or jojoba oil until it becomes clumpable, and then you press it into your tin. Another binding ingredient you can use to create more of a balm-like product, like this one here, is by adding a little carrier oil plus cetyl alcohol or beeswax and mango butter or coconut oil. And you'll see me do, in today's recipe, I'll be using coconut oil and beeswax, but you can also use cetyl alcohol and mango butter, and those are going to create slightly different feels on your skin. Mango butter and cetyl alcohol is slightly more lightweight, and that's why we put it in our DIY makeup kit. Beeswax and coconut oil are already in your recipe box, so we used those with your recipe box, and they also work really well. We're getting lots of good reviews for those too. So next up is cosmetic tins, and these are so fun, and a makeup palette. So we have this custom makeup palette at Simply Earth where if you open it up, there's a mirror, and then we have these makeup tins. If you're a subscriber, you got one of these in your recipe box, and it's magnetic, so you can put your own makeup tin right in there and create your own palette. So that's super fun. You can also just keep the tins by themselves. They have little lids, and store it how you would like. So which ingredient are you most curious to try? A believer mentioned she used arrowroot as her makeup base. Yes, that will work too. This mineral makeup powder I mentioned has more in it that's going to allow it to stay on your skin better and also look a little smoother on your skin. And a believer is excited for the balm for her cheeks. Awesome. Sheer. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Someone helped me out. Brenda is asking, can you use shea butter in DIY makeup? Yes, you can. Shea butter is a softer butter. So if you take one of the recipes in the guide below and add shea butter, it's going to turn out a little bit softer, which is fine. It'll still work. But if you want to make it a little bit harder, you'll want to add a little bit of cetyl alcohol or a little beeswax to it to get it to that harder consistency. Kendra's excited to try the pigment powders and mineral makeup base. And Marion is excited to try making your own foundation. I'm going to be posting a blog post about DIY foundation. And if you're a subscriber, you have free access to our hero course. And I've been using this liquid foundation. I was trying to clear up my workspace, and then I don't know, it's having the effect of things that were on my table are no longer there. Okay, so this is some liquid foundation I made earlier, and you do have to shake it before you use it. And this is so fun. So I made 2 powder bases, tint bases, and I'm calling one Porcelain Glow. It's a really fair color. And the second one is a shade darker called Soft Sand. And I have recipes for both of those. And my skin tone in the summer is about half and half of these two. In the winter, mine is like 3/4 this shade plus 1/4 this shade. And so now I have these little shades on hand, and I can refresh my foundation whenever I need to. So I've got a blog coming out on that is really good. So let me just show you quick because I'm excited about this. I also posted a video where I used this yesterday. So you got to shake it up before using. And then I just add a few drops to my face and rub it in like so. And this is just using those 2 shades that I mentioned, plus making it a liquid with jojoba oil. So I just, added enough jojoba oil. I don't remember the exact amount. It might have been 2 teaspoons, but I've got it in the recipe. And now I've got a liquid one, and it's super nourishing to my skin. It's slightly shiny, so I made a pressed powder to go with it. And that, I just apply that next, and it takes up that shine and then just adds a little bit more buildable coverage. So super, super fun, and I'm really excited about that. Brenda's asking, what size containers are those? So let me think. I want to say this is 5 mils, and I want to say this one's 15 mils. It does say on our website. Does it have any sunscreen properties? Good question. It does not. DIY sunscreen doesn't work very well because you have to be able to mix. So the most popular ingredient for sunscreen is zinc oxide, natural ingredient, and we do carry that at Simply Earth. But in order to get like real coverage from sun, you have to use a special blending method that's not possible in a home kitchen in order to make sure that zinc oxide is actually evenly distributed across your skin. So you could add some zinc oxide to this makeup, but I can't guarantee its sunscreen covering abilities. It's a good question. The makeup is pretty strong. If someone mentioned that for that 10, yeah, I can hold it upside down. Oh, here. Well, I don't want to because it's a pressed powder, and I don't want to lose my beautiful powder, but yes, it will stay in there. Cool. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. So the first recipe we're going to make is from our Simply Earth recipe box. And don't forget, in a little bit, I'm going to do a giveaway of our DIY beauty kit, but I want to be able to go through it first. So let's talk about the first recipe from our recipe box, and this is our subscription box with a new theme every month, so it's like a 12-month adventure or more of DIY fun. It comes with 4 essential oils, 6 recipes, and it's a great way to master natural DIYs. And you'll be so surprised at how many products in your home you can replace with things you make yourself. So in this box, we have Simply Earth's Beauty Within Blend. It's a great blend for supporting your skin. Next up, we have Cedarwood Himalayan. That's a very gentle oil on your skin. If you're a fellow irritated skin person like me, that's a good one to have on hand. And it helps clean your skin, so it helps create a clear complexion. And next up we have grapefruit. Grapefruit essential oil. It smells amazing. It's one of my favorites. And it's really great for oily skin. If you have oily skin, citrus oils like this have an astringent effect where they will help manage oil production. So it can actually help your pores shrink a little bit, and so that will naturally help support your skin's oil production. Grapefruit essential oil, important note about it is that it is phototoxic. That means if you put it on your face and go outside, you could get sunburned. But there is a caveat to that. That's only at certain amounts. The recipes in this box are lower than that amount. So you're very unlikely to have that effect when using this essential oil in the products, in these recipes when made as directed. And last but not least is cardamom. This is a lovely spice oil. Oh, I love it. It's gentle, it's very grounding, and it also helps create a clear, beautiful skin. Besides using these in the recipes, we have tons more recipes on our blog. So if you were to look up the cardamom essential oil on our blog, you will see tons of different recipes you can make with this oil. So be sure to check that out if you get this recipe box or have this oil, so you can really make use of these amazing bottles. There's so many great things you can do with them, and we're only covering a little bit of skincare here. And let me go through the recipes you make this month with your recipe box briefly before we dive in and make the grapefruit beauty balm, which you guys voted for on the event page for this. So the recipes in this one's box are this lip paint, and this one too, you do need to shake before you use it. And it creates this beautiful, I've been seeing some people use it on their cheeks, some people using it on their lips. It creates a very bold, beautiful color. Looks so good. I love seeing your guys' photos. This solid serum, which has been getting rave reviews. I put a vote in our Facebook group of the favorite recipe, and last time I looked, this one was winning. People are loving that solid serum bar. You can also use it, so you can use it on your face. You can use it on other areas of your skin too. This Forest Guardian roll-on, which I went camping earlier this month and got no bug bites. And this was the only bug repellent that I used. So it naturally helps ward off insects and smells really good. And last but not least, so all of our boxes contain one roll-on recipe and one diffuser recipe, and then the other 4 are based around that monthly theme. So we've also got a diffuser blend called Morning Burst, and I'm going to put it on our adorable flower diffuser. Bum, bum, bum. It smells so good. So the oils in this one's box, please try them on your diffuser with different combinations. If you want some inspiration, I posted some on my Instagram and Facebook, which my name on there is Aromatherapy Katie, so you can look those up too. Oh, Kentra is saying she loves the serum. So tell me why. Oh, sorry. Tell me what recipe you're most excited for in this recipe box, or if you're a subscriber, tell me if you've made it, tell me which one's your favorite. If you haven't yet or are thinking about it, tell me which one you're most interested in. Okay, so A Believer's asking, does lip paint fit in a 10 milliliter roll-on? Yes, I think this is 8 mils, and it would fit in there. Oh, yes, it wouldn't fill it up. If you wanted to fill it up, you could just add more carrier oil. Oh, and Brandy's mentioned, why does lip paint say Wineberry Lip Balm? That was a misprint. I'm sorry. That's why it says that. It's a lip paint. Kendra says, love the serum, love the serum. Woo, votes for the serum. April says, lip balm. Made them all, like them all. Love the serum and wineberry lip balm. Awesome. Cool. So let's go ahead and make our grapefruit beauty balm together. So here, I need to back you guys up so you can see my table more. Ooh, and I gotta move my light. Hold on. Here we go. And then I'm gonna tilt you down a little bit. So if I stand up, I'll probably get cut off slightly, but this will work. Okay. So I'm going to be following a recipe card that is in the recipe box. And to make this recipe, first you're going to blend together your mineral makeup base and fuchsia mica powder and red iron oxide. And to do this, I have some handy mini measuring spoons that have measurements like a 1/16 of a teaspoon, which is a pinch, and a dash, which is 1/8 of a teaspoon. You can estimate this. You'll just get a slightly different color based on your estimations, which is fine. Have fun with it. All right, so a 1/2 teaspoon of DIY mineral makeup base. And if you have sensitive lungs, it's a good idea to wear a face mask with this. These are fine powders, so if you breathe them in, it can cause you to cough. If you've worked, a couple months ago, we were working with some surfactants, and that can really make you cough. This won't do that, but if you have sensitive lungs, it's just a good thing to be mindful of. We're going to use 1/8 of a teaspoon of fuchsia mica powder. Which comes in your recipe box. I don't think I mentioned that. Your recipe box gives you the key ingredients you need to make these recipes. So the fuchsia mica powder, red iron oxide, and mineral makeup base I'm using is all right in my recipe box. All right, and then I'm using a 1/64 teaspoon of red iron oxide, which is also on this little measurement. It is a 1/2 smidgen, or a drop. 1/2 smidgen. It's fun to say. I also have some parchment paper down here to make cleanup a little bit easier. Here we go. So just gonna add that in here. And then it's important to stir this thoroughly until you have no clumps. Pigment powder has a tendency to clump, so this step is important. You want to make sure that there's no clumps. This will also help create a more even final product, stirring these pigment powders together before you add them to the liquids that we're going to add them to, or oils I should call them. Alright, so stirred that up pretty well. Next up, in a separate container, Bum, ba, ba, bum. I am going to be adding fractionated coconut oil, solid coconut oil, and beeswax. These items, if you subscribe to our recipe box, come free in a big bonus box. So you get so much with your recipe box, and then we ship out another one every 7 boxes. So every 6 boxes. So your first box, and then on your 7th box, you'll get another one. So I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of fractionated coconut oil. See, and I'm going to melt these together. So I've got a, what's it called? Not a stovetop, hot plate. I've got a hot plate right here that I'm going to start to heat up with a pan on it with a little bit of water. The fan on it is kind of loud, so I'll be sure to talk over it. All right, and then I need a teaspoon of solid coconut oil. I'm opening a new one, and I've got oil on my hands. Here. There we go. And then the last ingredient I'm adding to this is a 1/4 teaspoon of beeswax. All right, and now I'm going to melt this together. Shouldn't take too long because it's not very much. And I'm putting it in my little double boiler that I've got going on right here. So I've got a pan with a little bit of water in it, and now I just set my glass measuring cup right inside it. And that's going to gently heat it up. Oh, I guess I don't. Oops. I was going to move you closer, but then that's not actually a good idea because then you can't see my table. Okay. So we're going to let that melt. Then we're simply going to add this together and then pour it in our little cosmetic tin in our recipe box. From our recipe box. Alright, and we're almost there already. There we go. Nice work. Okay, so that was quick. And now we're going to pour in our mineral makeup base to our oil mixture. Give that a good stir. Look at that beautiful color. Oh, I love this color. We have another recipe like this in the box that is called Wineberry Glow Balm, and that is more of a burgundy shade, whereas this one has more of a bright grapefruit inspired shade. And boom, we just made it. I didn't time myself, but that was fast. So we just made our own beautiful blush. So I called it a beauty balm because you can use it as a blush, as a lip balm, as eyeshadow. You can really use it as almost any kind of beauty product. So I'll grab this one that's already made and I will show it to you here. So I've got some on my finger. I'll show it to you on the back of my hand. And then also, see that color? Isn't that pretty? My light's creating a glare on it. Hopefully you can see that okay. And so now we just let that set. And we've got our own lip balm that we can use on our lips, on our eyeshadow. I'll keep calling it a lip balm. Beauty balm. Eyelids, wherever you'd like. And you can use this exact recipe, but try different pigments and mineral and mica powders to create your own shade. And I'm going to show you some more options with our DIY beauty kit, or our DIY makeup kit next. So let me just clear this out, and then we'll dive into another amazing makeup recipe that you can make. So if you're watching this, tell me what color you'd like to make with your own DIY makeup. So next up, let's talk about our DIY makeup kit where you can make your own eyeshadow and blush palette. So super fun kit. I'll go through what's in the kit and then we'll make one of the recipes in here because we actually give you a lot of different shades that you get to pick from. So you really can create your own custom palette. So in this kit, you'll get a big bag of our DIY mineral makeup kit. And like I said, this is an estimation. I would guess you could make like 50 of these with this. But that's an estimation. And you also get almond oil. And we'll use that to bind our ingredients together along with mango butter. That's going to be another binder that we use. You also get our mica powder sample kit. So this comes with 1.5 gram bags of all of our different mica colors, which is rose red, tiger orange, black, mocha, pearl, which is this pretty one that we'll use in a highlighter type recipe, indigo blue mica powder, ocean blue mica powder, forest green, lime green, yellow gold, violet, and fuchsia. So you get all of these and you will have plenty left over to keep experimenting. You also get our entire pigment powder line in a sample pack, and again here you'll have plenty left over to explore because you only need such small amounts for these makeup products. Did you see, like you saw me make this one and the beautiful punch of color it made with the tiny amount of ingredients we used. So we've got red iron oxide, green chromium oxide, yellow iron oxide, brown iron oxide, and blue ultramarine, there it is, and black iron oxide. So the mica powders are shimmery and will create color on your skin, but it won't be as bold as adding a pigment powder into the mix. So this balm, if we just used fuchsia mica powder in it, it wouldn't show up on our skin very well. It would have a very slight tint. But since we added the oxide to it, it creates a really bold color on your skin. And you get, I already showed you this big bag of the makeup powder. You get 3 recipe cards, cetyl alcohol, Simply Earth's Beauty Within blend, and our Resilience blend. Both of these blends are really great for skincare and supporting your skin to look glowing and bright and radiant. You also get 2 rectangle cosmetic tins and 4 square cosmetic tins and this makeup compact. So you're truly making your own DIY makeup compact. So in the end, you can put your tins in there and you can choose what colors you make. So take this as an example and imagine it your favorite makeup colors. So you can have your own custom makeup palette. So with this kit, well, let me talk you through it. Okay. So let me talk you through the recipes in this kit. So the idea is to make your own eyeshadow and blush palette. And so we give you 4 different shades of blush to choose from. We also have a moisturizing glow balm. This is a great way to set up your skin for your DIY makeup. And that's this one here. If you wanted, you could skip that recipe and make 2 blushes. That's up to you. But how we have it laid out is to do this glow balm, do this blush, and then 4 different eyeshadows or, like beauty balms. You could use it anywhere you wanted, really. So 4 of these smaller ones. And we give you recipes to make it as a pressed powder or as a balm. And so you pick. So here we go. This is a balm. This is a balm. These 3 are pressed powders, and this one is a balm too. So you can pick how you make it. You choose if you want a pressed powder or balm product. The shades of blush that you can make, we named them Pink Punch, Wild Orchid, and I have little color descriptors beneath. So Pink Punch is like a strawberry pink. Wild Orchid is like a purpley pink, which always makes me think of my grandma. Love you, Grandma, if you're watching this. Pink Lemonade, pale bubblegum pink, and Coral, which is more of an orange pink. So that can get you started. You can blend those colors together and then think, hey, I would like this to be a little bit brighter, and then customizing it by adding a little bit more pigment powder if you want, or you can leave it as is. So really, sky's the limit on this. Have fun getting so creative. So there's the 4 different shades of blush, and then we have 8 different shades of eyeshadow. So we've got Sand, which is kind of I've got the description, so I was just going to tell you, but it's there, which just makes it easier. Okay, so Sand is a cool dusty beige. Mountain is a pale cool gray, so I'll think like smoky eye. Forest is a strong cool green, which I wore in my last video, and people are like, that's your color! Deep blue is a deep warm blue color. Next up, I made these be series. So that first series was like earth tones. This next one is like a bold and vibrant series. So shade 1 is Gold Sunshine. Shade 2 is Forest, which is a strong, it's not Forest. We have to get our cards updated. So if you go to our website, it's on pre-order because we're waiting on our cards to getting fixed. But there's also Starry Sky Blue, Sparkling Emerald, and then there's one more shade. And I think it's like a really pretty pink color. So you can choose one of those shades and make one. So take your vote. Which one would you like to make today in this video? We've got Sand, Forest, Deep Ocean, Mountain, Gold Sunshine, Sparkling Emerald, Starry Blue, and then let me see if I can quick see what that other one is. pink bubble gum, or pink bubble gum. All right, we've got, ooh, so some of the colors you guys are wanting to make that I asked were like green, a darker berry color, ooh, a subtle pinkish, purple, love it, bronze, love that, yeah. Forest. Marion also says, I also like the berry color. Brenda says, beautiful kit. Yes, and after we make this recipe, I am going to give it away to one of you who are watching. Marion says, very nice kit. So glad you like it. All right, we've got to vote for sand, sparkling emeralds. Oh, and Holly mentions with the magnetic tins, you can swap your colors out daily if you wish. That is true. You can change your palette around whenever you want. I love that. Another vote for, ooh, it looks like starry blue and sand are winning. Sand, sand, sand. I think sand is winning. So let's go ahead and make our sand tinted eyeshadow. So let me get this out of the way and get some of our ingredients out. All right, so since I made the grapefruit beauty balm be a balm-like texture, or cream-like texture, I am going to make this one be a pressed powder so you can see me do that, but the kit gives you options for either one, so you choose which one you like best. And this one is this shade is super simple to make. I'm just going to need a teaspoon. Let me just wipe this out real quick. This is rubbing alcohol, 99% rubbing alcohol, and it makes cleaning things out between really easy. So if you end up with a little bit of a mess at the end, rubbing alcohol is a nice way to get pigments off of things. They can be kind of tough to clean up, so that's why I have this here, but that makes it easy. So in here I'm going to blend together a teaspoon of DIY mineral makeup base. Another really great cleaner, by the way, for cleaning this up is we have a Defender Power Spray recipe. That's the bee's knees at cleaning this stuff up. Otherwise, if you try to do this with like normal dish soap, it's like, oh, it's just smearing everywhere. But that Power Cleans recipe we have, it was like, ooh, I am not smearing, I am cleaning. So if you love a good cleaning recipe, check that one out. If you go to simplyearth.com and just in the search bar, search Defender Cleaning Spray, it'll pop up for you. All right, so DIY mineral makeup base. 1 teaspoon. And then to this, we're gonna add our shade. And to make this sand color, it's going to be just a little bit of yellow iron oxide. And you'll see how little product you need to make a big punch of color. So you'll be able to make so many things from this kit. All right, so I've got our mineral makeup base. And now I'm going to add my shades. So on the back of the card is the shades. And to make my sand color, all I need is 1/32 of a teaspoon yellow iron oxide, and you can estimate that if you want. You will end up with a varying shade based on your estimation, or they do make mini measuring spoons. If you search mini measuring spoons, this will pop up and it's got the name right on it. Super handy for making small batches of makeup like this. So I'm gonna go into my pigment sample pack, find my yellow iron oxide. Now, if you love making these products, we do sell our pigment powders in bigger sizes. So if you just fall in love with this, like I hope you will, because it is so fun and such a great way to use your creativity that you can get these in larger sizes and really just, you know, it's shelf stable too. So this will just last forever. Okay, so in here, 1/32 of a teaspoon of yellow iron oxide, and I am packing these. You know, sometimes they say like loosely pack or whatever. I put it in and then I push it with my thumb, and then I put it in. All right, now I'm going to stir this up. Let me get a little spoon. If you've watched my other makeup videos, I will often do this in a coffee grinder that I use only for natural DIYs. That's a great way to incorporate your powdered pigments together and blend them evenly. Also, a pestle and mortar is really great to do that in too. But if this is what you have, this works great, like I'm doing in this video. A spoon in a container like this. Do keep mixing it. So like if you were to give that just a little mix, you'd be like, I see no sandish color here, I just see white. You'll be surprised once you stir it a little bit longer that it really does change its color. So if you feel like nothing's happening at first, keep stirring. And then if you're not happy with the color, you can change it. You are in control of your makeup. So if you wanted to make this be a little more yellow in color, you can add another, I would start with another small amount of yellow iron oxide. All right, so this is a very light sand color here, and I feel like for me, I would like it to be a little bit yellow. So let's show what a little bit more yellow. So let's show what customizing it to be Katie's yellow might look like. Or I don't know, it's still sand. This is like when you go to the Caribbean or see those Caribbean beaches that are like powdery, beautiful sand. If we want it to be more like the sand on Lake Michigan right by where we live, want it to be slightly darker. So let's go ahead and try that. All right, so this is, let's see the change this does. So it's still very light. If I add just a little bit more yellow iron oxide to this, and really stir it in good. I'm actually wishing I would have done this in a little bowl so I could smush it to the edges with a silicone spatula. But when I was prepping for this video, I did not grab that, so I'm just gonna do it in here, which works fine. Here we go, and I just found a little clump, so make sure you're pressing it like so. All right, so now let's make it into our clumpy consistency. So it's, oh, I got a little clump there. I gotta get that out. Let me put this in a bigger container if I have one. Here, will this fit in here? Yes, it will, okay. This is gonna work better for me. So using a spatula like this and smushing it is gonna help break up the clumps of pigment powder. And I noticed this is more of an issue when you're leaving the product as a powder, like we're making a pressed powder here. The last recipe I mixed it in with oils, and then it tends to mix in a lot more easily because it gets suspended or dispersed in the oils. Here you go. All right, I'm liking this color. This is more like Lake Michigan sand by where we live. And now to make it a pressed powder, I'm going to add 1/16 of a teaspoon To create cream blush, oh, here it is. To use as loose powder, dip to create a pressed powder. So almond oil to the powders and stir thoroughly. All right, so we're gonna start with a 1/16 teaspoon of almond oil that comes in the kit. And then I'm going to stir it with that spatula, smushing it a bit until it creates a clumpy like consistency. Then I'll be able to press into a cosmetic tin. So you'll want to give it a good stir. And it's not really clumping yet. Oop, it's kind of sticking to the spatula though. So let me get that off and then I'll stir that in. And then see where I'm at. And then maybe I need to add a little bit more almond oil to get it to that clumpy consistency. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. You want it to look like little crumbs in here. If you like to bake, it's like when you make a crumble. That's what you want it to look like. Like, so it's in little crumbs that you'd be able to push into the tin that you're baking in. And I'm gonna add a bit more. There we go. I'm doing a 1/16 at a time. So right now I'm at 3/16. Here we go. And now I'm getting the clumps that I want. So I'm gonna keep stirring this. Until it's really evenly distributed, until it looks uniformly clumpy. And now I'm going to stick it into one of the cosmetic tins from the DIY kit. And then I'm gonna push it in with the back of a spoon. There are like tamping tools. So if you have one of those from a different DIY or hobby that you're into, you can use that. But a back of a spoon works well here. So here, can I show it? Can you see this? So it's like little crumbs on here. And when I added that extra yellow, it got a little bit darker to this color. And it's raining. Can you guys hear that? All right. So now it's in here and it looks like so. I've got little crumbs there and you can see that yellow color that we made together. Now I'm gonna push it in. I don't have the best spoon for this right here, but this is working pretty well. Thought it was gonna be too big. And now I'm just pushing it on the back side here. And if you find that it's not pushing in well, that it's too crumbly, you can keep adding a little bit more almond oil, a tiny bit at a time, to get it to the right consistency. If you go too far, it still will work. It'll just be more of a, and it'll start getting to be more of a creamy consistency. So you push that in. You could also, I'm going to see if I can use my finger with this parchment paper. I think that would actually be a really nice way to do this. So I've got this parchment paper here. Can you guys see me? And I'm pushing this in here. There we go. That worked really well. Okay, so that's another way you can do it. Just with your finger and then having a barrier between it so it doesn't stick to your hand like parchment paper, freezer paper. So here we go. This is our sand DIY eyeshadow, pressed powder eyeshadow that we made together. I'll show you on the back of my hand here. Ooh, it's a pretty color. You guys like that? So good pick. So we've also got shades for pink, blue, a brighter, more sunshiny yellow, and more in this kit. So if you are interested in this kit and you would like to win it during this live video, comment beauty right now and we'll talk a little bit more. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to scroll through the comments and choose a random winner to win this DIY makeup kit. So comment beauty and you could be a winner. I'm excited to give this away. All right. Oh, and you know what? I'm still in the corner. I meant to make myself the full screen. I'm able to do that. I'm sorry. I hope you were able to see okay. Okay, so keep commenting beauty. I'm going to move through to the next slides, and then at the end... Oh, Brenda, you just asked, can I enlarge my screen? I could have. I'm sorry. Here, let me do it now, and I can show you the finished recipes. Ah, I can't believe I did that. Okay, I just got into making. Okay, so here is the pressed powder, and you can work on that a bit more to press it in even more neatly. And let me find our beauty balm we made together. Where did I set it? Here it is. Just want to make sure I'm grabbing the right one because I have other makeup pieces up here. All right, and here is our grapefruit beauty balm that we made. And you might get slightly varying colors based off of your ingredients. I mean, not ingredients, based off of your measurements. And this works so well. Like, look at that on my finger so this is a balm we just made together. The start of the video. I'll put some on my lips. Oh, it looks good. Put some on my eyes. Well, I want to put the eyeshadow we just made on my eyes. I guess we're going to layer it. Okay. And then I already put some on my cheeks. I already have a lot of red in my skin, so I don't usually add blush, but looks good. All right, so let me do the eyeshadow. So here's that sand eyeshadow we made, and you do have the choice in the kit to make it more cream based like we just made. But you can also leave it as a powder, like a lot of eyeshadows are powders. Or you could think of it more as, I want another blush option. You could put a pink, create a pink shade to put on your lips. All right, can you see that? It's on top of my pink, but I think you can. I like it. Here you go. So fun, and really you can create any color. I've got a little box here. Let me show you some of the other colors that you can create. So this is more of a taupey brown. Kind of matches my shirt. Like really well, actually. Wow. Which is a Simply Earth shirt, by the way. Available on our website. This is a dark charcoal color. Super pretty you can make. You could have a whole like rainbow of colors. Oh, there's another dark one. Here's another sand one. Here is that. I think this one must be the emerald green because it's a little more shimmery. I keep pulling up the charcoal ones. Nope, I take it back. This one's forest. This one's the emerald green. So both those recipes are on the back of your recipe card for eyeshadow. Oop, and this is, look at how pretty that is. That one's the starry blue one. I love it. And here's a powder version of that charcoaly one. Those are, or Mountain. That one's called Mountain. All right, and those are all the shades I have here. So super fun, super beautiful. Oops, you can only see my hand. There we go. So really, really fun, natural DIY. All right, let me pull up my slides a minute. I already made it. Okay. So what are natural beauty products? When you think of makeup, you probably imagine colorful palettes, silky powders, and creamy balms. But if you really look at what's inside them, most conventional cosmetics rely on dyes, fillers, and preservatives that can be harsh on your skin. Natural beauty products, on the other hand, are made simple, skin-friendly ingredients that work in harmony with your body instead of against it. So these products that we made here in this video, they're good for your skin. They're naturally derived. And they work with you. I love the idea of working with your beauty when you're making beauty products. So you're working with your natural beauty when you're making these and working for it. Not just covering things up. You're working with it and really showing off your beauty. All right, so again, the first recipe I made is in the recipe box, which you can see in that top corner there. And then closer to me is our DIY beauty kit, DIY makeup kit, which is linked below this video. I've also got a free guide linked below this video. And I'm going to announce a winner and have some FAQ time. Okay. So I'm going to bring you closer to me so I can read your comments more easily. This is so fun. I've never done this before, and I get to pick a winner. Okay. Way to go. You guys are commenting like crazy. All right. So I'm going to go whoosh, and then I'm going to point at my comments, which are here, and then I'll say that name. All right. Brandy DePerry, Brenda. I rhymed your first name with your last name. Brenda DePerry, you are a winner. Ah, hope you're excited. You can get this DIY beauty kit by emailing hello@simplyearth.com and sharing your information with our team there. They are expecting an email from you, and we'll get it arranged to get delivered to you. Thank you so much for joining. I would love to answer any questions you guys have about DIYs or Simply Earth. And yeah, So let me know if you guys have any I'm still getting beauty comments. I'm glad you guys wanted it. You girls, some of you were really, really going at it. You guys did awesome. I respect that. Way to go, guys. I thought you guys would just comment once. But you guys know the game. Nice work. Okay, yay. I'm so glad you're still here too, so that you get to hear this announcement. Okay, so send us an email and you're a winner. I've got some more makeup recipes. If you are a subscriber to our recipe box, you get free access to our hero course, where I've got a lot more shades available for you to try and test, including foundation shades. So at the start of this video, I mentioned 2 pigment powder bases that I've been using for my DIY foundation, and those are both on there. Porcelain Glow is shade number 1 and Soft Sand is shade number 2. I'm quite tan right now, but I do have a very fair complexion. So those are my 2 shades you can use as a reference, but I've got 6 to choose from. Probably they're great starting points. Everybody has their own shade, so you'll probably need to adjust it, just like I combined these 2 to make my shade. But a great starting point, and hopefully you can use the tools and things you learned with this video to think about customizing it and what you'd like. I've even got in those recipes tweaks you can add to the recipe. So say this shade, you have a really warm skin tone, you can add just a little bit of yellow iron oxide to this shade to warm it up. Or say you want to color correct, like I've got a lot of red in my skin, adding a little bit of green helps color correct that red. So you can play around with that too. Holly asking about where do you find the liquid foundation recipe. I have a blog in draft mode. It just needs photos added. So hopefully by the end of this, maybe by tomorrow, but if not, by the end of the week. I have someone helping me out with adding photos to it. So hopefully we're able to get that done. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. I will be live again next week, Wednesday, actually. Usually I'm always live on Thursdays, but if you would like to see the reveal of the new DIY kit we have coming out in July and our July recipe box, I will be walking you through those, showing you the different recipes you can make. I won't be making anything live, but I will show you exactly what's in the kit, DIY kit, and our recipe box subscription box, and hope you can make that. So it's on a Wednesday instead, and it's going to be at 2 o'clock on YouTube. You'll be able to find it like you found this video. Michelle says, yay, yay. Hope you guys can make it to the live. Cherish Your Sparkle says, loving the balm. That's awesome. Cool. All right, guys. So I hope to see you next week, Wednesday. Ta-ta. And you're welcome, Brenda. I'm glad you're a winner.